Ever pondered on the profound mystery of one flesh in a biblical marriage? This phrase, one flesh, is more than just a metaphor for the physical union between a man and a woman. It's a profound and sacred concept that encompasses emotional, spiritual, and mental unity within the bond of holy matrimony. Welcome to Livingstone Melanzi's Marriage Studio, where we will explore this concept of one flesh as in perspective and what happens when it's defiled by adultery. Let's take a journey back to the dawn of creation, to the Garden of Eden. Genesis 2:24 tells us the story of Adam and Eve, the first couple. When God created Eve from Adam's rib, Adam declared, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." Here, Adam recognized the deep connection he shared with Eve, a bond that went beyond mere physicality. This bond was the original intent of one flesh, a unity so profound that it couldn't be broken by any earthly force. But what does this unity mean in practical terms? The Apostle Paul provides some insight in 1 Corinthians 7. He talks about the mutual duties and responsibilities that a husband and wife have towards each other. The wife does not have authority over her own body but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body but yields it to his wife. Here, Paul emphasizes the respect and consideration that each spouse should have for the other, reflecting the depth of the one flesh connection. This connection isn't just about physical intimacy. It's about sharing your very being with another person. It's about becoming one in purpose, one in spirit, and one in love. It's about a commitment so deep that it reflects the very love of God Himself. Indeed, the one flesh phenomenon encapsulates a profound mystery and responsibility in a biblical marriage. This concept is a gift, a blessing, and a commandment all at once. It's a divine blueprint for how a husband and wife should relate to each other, love each other, and serve each other. And as we'll see in the next scene, this sacred unity is something that should never be taken lightly or violated. How sacred is the one flesh union, and what implications does it hold for couples? Diving deep into the sanctity of the one flesh union, we find that it is not merely a concept but a divine commandment. It is a profound mystery, a sacred bond that intertwines two souls into one. This union, as the Bible depicts, is centered around mutual respect, love, and the fulfillment of marital duties, laying the groundwork for a solid, enduring marriage. Imagine two pieces of paper glued together. Once joined, they cannot be separated without causing damage to either piece. Similarly, the one flesh union signifies the inseparable bond between a man and a woman in marriage. Their lives, their dreams, their futures become inextricably linked, creating a unique synergy that strengthens their relationship. This unity is not about losing oneself to the other. Rather, it's about finding oneself in the other. It's about two distinct individuals coming together, sharing their lives, yet maintaining their unique identities. It's about mutual respect and understanding, about supporting each other in every walk of life. It's about love that is patient, love that is kind, love that always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. The one flesh union also carries significant implications for the fulfillment of marital duties. It signifies a commitment to serve, to care, and to love one another, in sickness and in health, in prosperity and adversity. It's about sharing life's joys and sorrows, victories and defeats, highs and lows. It's about standing by each other, no matter what. In conclusion, the one flesh union is more than a divine command. It's a sacred bond that holds the potential to elevate a marriage to a whole new level. It's a bond that strengthens the relationship, fosters mutual respect and love, and lays a solid foundation for a long-lasting, fulfilling marriage. The one flesh union is not just a divine mandate but a sacred bond that strengthens the marital relationship. But what happens when this sacred one flesh union is violated by adultery? Adultery, as we know, is a term that carries heavy implications. In the biblical context, it's seen not just as a violation of a marital contract, but as a deep and profound breach of a spiritual bond. It's a topic that is addressed directly in the scriptures, particularly in 1 Corinthians 6:16, where Apostle Paul speaks about the concept of one flesh. This scripture reads, "Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the two will become one flesh." Here Paul is emphasizing the severity of sexual immorality and how it disrupts the sacred one flesh union. The act of adultery, then, is a direct contradiction to the concept of one flesh. It's a violation that goes beyond the physical, causing deep emotional and spiritual damage. When two people enter into a marriage, they become one flesh, a spiritual entity that is more than just the sum of its parts. This union is meant to be a representation of love, trust, and mutual respect. Adultery, therefore, is not just an act against one's spouse, but an act against the one flesh union itself. Let's think about it for a moment. Adultery introduces a third element into what is supposed to be a union of two. This act of betrayal disrupts the balance, breaking the sacred bond that was formed. It's like a tear in the fabric of the one flesh union, causing pain and confusion and leaving deep scars that are difficult to heal. In Matthew 5:32, Jesus himself acknowledges the gravity of adultery, stating that it is the only reasonable cause for divorce. This underscores just how seriously adultery is viewed in the biblical context. It's not just a matter of broken trust or hurt feelings, it's a violation of a sacred union, a spiritual bond that was meant to be unbreakable. Adultery, therefore, is not just a breach of trust, but a profound violation of the sacred one-flesh union. What are the consequences of adultery in a biblical marriage? Adultery, an act that strikes at the heart of the one-flesh union, leaves a trail of devastation in its wake. It's akin to a powerful storm that ravages a once tranquil landscape, leaving nothing but destruction and chaos behind. But what exactly are the repercussions of such an act? To comprehend this, we turn our attention to the teachings of Jesus, specifically his insights in Matthew 5:32. Jesus, in his divine wisdom, saw adultery not just as a violation of trust, but as an act so severe that it could justify the ultimate dissolution of the one-flesh bond, divorce. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful tapestry, woven with threads of love, trust, and mutual respect. This is what a marriage represents, a harmonious intertwining of two lives into one. But adultery, it's like a sharp knife cutting through the fabric, tearing apart the intricate patterns, severing the threads that held it together. This disruption is so profound, so damaging, that sometimes the only solution is to let go, to divorce. But let's not forget, the consequences of adultery go beyond the dissolution of marriage. It triggers a ripple effect, impacting not just the couple involved, but also their children, their families, their community, and even their faith. The pain, the guilt, the betrayal, these emotions can shake a person's belief, can cause them to question their values, their choices, their very identity. Adultery also inflicts psychological and emotional scars that can last a lifetime. It's like a wound that never fully heals, a constant reminder of the betrayal and the loss. And even if forgiveness is found and reconciliation is achieved, the shadow of the past can still linger, casting a pall over the future. So, let's remember, while the one-flesh union may seem like an abstract concept, it is the very foundation of a biblical marriage. And any act that violates this sacred bond, such as adultery, carries with it profound and far-reaching consequences. Clearly, the consequences of violating the one-flesh union through adultery are severe and far-reaching. So what can we take away from this exploration of the one-flesh concept and adultery in a biblical marriage? We've delved into the mystery of the one-flesh union, a profound and sacred bond that is formed in the covenant of marriage. This is not merely a physical connection but a deeply spiritual one. As Apostle Paul shares in 1 Corinthians 7, it is a divine weaving together of two lives, two souls, into a singular entity. We've also examined the grievous violation of this sacred bond through the act of adultery. As we unraveled the implications of 1 Corinthians 6:16 and Matthew 5:32, we've seen how adultery does not just break a vow, but it rips apart the very fabric of the one-flesh union. This act of unfaithfulness is so severe that it is the only exception Jesus gave for divorce. The consequences of adultery are far-reaching, affecting not just the couple involved, but also their family, community, and relationship with God. It is an act that carries a heavy burden of guilt and shame, leading to spiritual and emotional disconnection. However, let's remember that while we may stumble, forgiveness and reconciliation are at the heart of our faith. It's essential that we constantly strive to uphold the sanctity of the one-flesh union, nurturing it with love, respect, and faithfulness. Take some time today to reflect on your understanding of these principles and how they apply to your marriage. Are you nurturing your one-flesh union with the reverence it deserves? Are you guarding it against the violation of adultery? Remember, it's not just about avoiding wrongdoing, but actively fostering a relationship that honors God and your spouse. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussions.